Namaste, my name is Gayatri and today I'm going to share a little bit of yoga wisdom with you. I'm going to be speaking about mindfulness and my journey through mindfulness. But before we begin, we're just going to calm our minds, relax a bit with some kirtan. Kirtan is the singing of sacred mantras. I sing the mantra through first and then you respond. I sing, you respond. And it's very relaxing and calming for the mind, soothing for the soul. So just relax in this sound and you can join in if you like, otherwise you can just listen. The mantra is Gopala, Govinda, and it's on the screen if you need to look at it. Going to be sharing some yoga wisdom with you, and the topic today is my journey through mindfulness. I have been practicing mindfulness for a number of years now. Mindfulness is people think of it as being a very modern thing, but in actual fact it's a very, very ancient practice. The yogis in ancient times all practiced mindfulness. And so I've been teaching mindfulness here at the Australian School of Meditation and Yoga for many, many years. And I had an experience just maybe 3 or 4 years ago where I had 2 joint replacements within 10 months. I was born with some problems with my hip and congenital problems, and from that has stemmed a lot of imbalance in my body, and due to that there's been a lot of joint wear. So over the years my joints have worn out and I've had to have other joint replacements. So I've actually had 2 left hip replacements, 1 right hip replacement and a knee replacement. So hopefully that's it for a while. It's quite intense having these operations. So I just want to tell you a little bit about my experience, because it really greatly impacted on me. I got quite a surprise that I'd have to have my right hip replaced. I didn't realize that was going to wear out so soon, and it did. And I really went in there with a very positive attitude this time. Normally I went in and I was overwhelmed. I'd think about it a lot and worry and dwell. And then by the time I got in for the operation, I was sort of in a bad place to begin with. So this time I thought, right, I'm going to really practice what I preach, and I'm going to put this mindfulness into practice. So the first thing I didn't give it time of day. I wasn't worrying about it. There's some things we just can't control in life, and we have to learn to let go of those things that we have no control of. I had very little control. Well, I did have, the doctor said, put up with the pain, and it was excruciating. I couldn't have put up with it. Or have a hip replacement. So they were my two options. And I wasn't willing to go through life in excruciating pain. I couldn't teach yoga. I couldn't do anything. I was virtually getting to be bedridden, which is going to cause more problems. So I decided, okay, I'll have this hip replacement. And I didn't think about it. Every time the thought would come in and I'd start to worry, I'd go, no, this is not the way. No, this is not going to help the situation. We do have a tendency to place our minds on our problems, and our problems tend to get bigger and bigger because we dwell in our problems. So what I'd kept doing is taking it off and placing it on my meditation. And I constantly did that. Every time I'd think about it, I'd take it off the problem, do my meditation, and it would go away. So after, it was a couple of months I had to book in. So after a couple of months, I turned up on the day, and it hadn't become this big, insurmountable mountain. Is that the word? It hadn't become this huge obstacle in my life like they previously had. So I went in there and I was quite calm about it all. And they said to me, oh, you can't take your beads in. I had my meditation beads, and I was practicing my japa meditation, which I have been doing for 27 years now. And I can't go a day without my japa meditation. So I had my beads there, and they said, oh, we have to take your beads off you now. And I said, oh, please, can I keep them? I really need these beads. And they were very nice. They let me keep them and take them into the operating theatre. And as soon as I went to sleep, they put them in a nice clean bag for me with my belongings. So I was able to do my meditation all the way into the theatre. And while they were doing all their things, it's pretty, overwhelming when you go into those theatres and there's like about 20 people in there running around, and it's just like quite scary. So I needed my beads. So anyway, I kept remembering this time I'm going to practice this mindfulness, which I had been already leading up to the operation. And then I woke up, and it was like having a baby. You forget about having a baby until you have the next one, and then you remember when you go into labour. Well, it's similar to that. I was like, oh my God, now I remember what this is about again. And as soon as the anaesthetic starts wearing off, you could start feeling the pain, and it's this burning sensation. And I remembered, I went, no, that's right, I'm not going to become the victim here. This is not happening to me, the eternal spirit soul within. It's happening to my body, and it's happening to my mind. This is something that my body is going through, my mind is going through, but I'm actually untouched by this. So I kept stepping back from my body and stepping back from my mind. So I kept stepping back from my body and stepping back from my mind and placing my mind on my meditation, trying to really absorb, especially my japa meditation. I found that very helpful. And I kept doing it. The pain breakthrough would be there sometimes. The drugs didn't always work, and I didn't like to take too many drugs, so I was getting breakthrough pain, and I just stepped back, and it was really comforting just knowing that this wasn't actually happening to me, and I could step back and be less disturbed by my body and my mind, knowing that I am an eternal being within and I'm not my body and mind. It was a real comfort to me. And having my meditation, my beads there, that was my security blanket. So I kept doing this, and for 3 days, until the nurse came in one day and said, you don't even look like you should be here. And I said, I don't feel like I should be here. I recovered so quickly. And she said, well, let's get you out of here. And I said, yes, please. And so I went home on the 3rd day, I think it was, after my operation, which was pretty quick. And, it was just, when I look back, it was just a slight inconvenience. Instead of me making this huge deal out of this replacement, because it's a long, recovery. There's 4 months or months. I spent longer doing the physio, but really when I look back, after about 4 months I was back to teaching yoga, and things were pretty normal after about 4 months. So it was a slight inconvenience in my life. It wasn't this huge obstacle. And one thing that I really had an insight into was that everything in life, the obstacles in life, are like a big river. Sometimes you see Brisbane River after a storm. I remember the 2011 floods. There was this massive current, and there were all sorts of huge and small obstacles, all sorts of obstacles, little things on the surface, maybe some logs and just things floating down the river. And then there were big obstacles. There were even restaurants and bridges floating down the river as well. And there was this huge current, and this current can't be stopped. You can't stop that current of the river. And that's how I saw the obstacles in life, was like the river. So sometimes there's small obstacles coming towards you, sometimes there's huge obstacles coming towards you. But they're coming, they're coming, they're coming. And now you're having to go through it. We don't have a choice most of the time. Okay, I'm going through it now, I'm going through it, I'm going through it. It's gone, it's gone, it's gone. And you look down the river and it's a little pinprick on the horizon, and then it's nothing. So when we look back 10 years ago, where are those problems now? Do you even remember those problems? I don't remember most of the problems I had 10 years ago. I'd have to really think hard about those problems. And they've gone now. So we can take comfort in the fact that our bodies, we're not our bodies and we're not our minds, and everything is temporary. Sometimes that's a really good thing to know, because you know that the obstacles in life are not permanent. They're going to go, and it's just something you have to go through. And having meditation as your security blanket, and this mindfulness, knowing who you are and being able to observe, really, really makes life so much easier. And I would recommend that you practice mindfulness on a daily basis, and you'll find that it'll open up a whole new world, and you'll become mindful about everything. You become observant about everything in life after a while. So it starts off with a little technique, and then you can implement that little technique so that it becomes a part of your life, and it's a very, very powerful tool. So you can click on the link below to learn mindfulness, and I hope, and we also have links to japa meditation, or you can come here and practice some, or come to one of our Learn to Meditate workshops. We have them online, and when coronavirus is over, we'll have them back at the centre again. We usually have them once a month. So I hope this has been some benefit to you, and just knowing how this helped me, I hope it can help you as well. Thank you very much. Hope to see you again soon.